Welcome to the third part of this series showing how to make a railway wagon using the Barnacle 3D modeler. So let's crack on. I'll just go ahead and create a new file to hold the wheel mount. So click on the project and add a new file to it. And I'll type in the name of that new file. Cool. I'm going to make the base of the wheel mount using a platelet. I think I'll start by just drawing in the rough shape using straight line segments. I'm not worrying too much about the size here. I'll sort that out later once we've actually got the basic shape right. And close the shape. Cool. So now I'm going to curve the little bits at the bottom by turning them into Bezier curves. That's fine. And I think that's it really. Cool. Now I'll rotate that onto the bed and center it. And now I'll adjust its size by going to the object palette and I'll just type in the dimensions that are recorded previously on the Inkscape diagram. That does not look right. Something's gone wrong there. Oh, I've got the Y and the Z dimensions the wrong way around. I'll just change those. Hey, it's these things happen. I think that's a bit better. So let's center it again, I think, and floor it. Yep. So now I'm going to make the mounting plate for the axle. I think I'll make that out of a squircle. I'll just round off the corners and I'll just type in the dimensions that I'm taking straight off the Inkscape plan. There's nothing magical here really, just type in the numbers. Cool. That's it. And I think we'll change his colour just to differentiate him from the base plate. Awesome. And now I'll stack him above the base plate. Awesome, that looks fine. Zoom in a bit there so we can see. I'm going to position him towards the front of the base plate. I'll just use the aligned front to do that. And then I'm going to nudge him back a little bit, just using the cursor keys. Cool, that looks fine. So now I'm going to add a little lug to the back of that plate. I'll start by just putting in a cube primitive and I'll resize it, making it fairly small. What do we think? Oh well, let's see what Inkscape says. Yep, and the Z. Oh, do you know, I think there is some issue here with the way that these text boxes are taking the numbers. I might have to look at that. It shouldn't be this hard to get these numbers entered. I think something's gone slightly awry. That 125 should be 1.25. Yeah, I'm having a little trouble getting this to set the right number. I think I'll need to look at the code to sort that. But there we are, we've got it now. So I'm going to stack this behind the platelet. Cool, that's the effect that we're attempting to achieve. So now I'm going to add the axle support, which I'll do just using a cylinder. So it's pretty much the same as the last thing. I'm just going to grab a cylinder here and resize it. That should be 1.75 as well. Cool. Height is a wee bit high at the moment, I think. Let's adjust that. It's not really particularly critical what the height should be. And I'm going to stack that on top of the support plate. And I think I might push it in a little bit as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a bit on the high side. Let's push it down. Floored it down. Cool. So the next thing to make, I think, is the leaf spring. Not really going to make a complete leaf spring, we're just going to make a shape that looks vaguely like it. So again, I'll use a platelet. And I'll count along these grid dots here. I know the shape I want to make. That's fine. These will actually form the leaves of the springs. Go along a bit and then reverse that pattern going up to the top. Cool. It doesn't look like much like leaves at the moment, but now if I turn that into a bezier and drag it down, and the same on the bottom, then I'll go around and do the same with the edges. You could leave loose flat, I suppose, but I think I'd prefer to just bezier those in as well. Just dragging the points to the nearest grid point, and that'll be good enough for this. And once again, I'm not worrying too much about the actual dimensions. I'll sort that out once I've got the basic shape. Cool. Let's rotate that over onto the bed, so that's the correct alignment. Yep, it's big enough to cover the entire plate, so it is perhaps a little on the big side. And resize it then. That's cool. The height wants to be a little bit thicker than the base plate, I think. Cool. So let's position it by stacking it behind, I think, yeah, behind the main plate. And then I'll align the back edges. That should bring it into position. Let's zoom in and have a little look. Yep, that looks fine. The leaf spring has a couple of cylinders at each side. I'm just going to add those in as primitives. So yep, create the first cylinder, and I'll go and resize that now. Actually, yeah, I'll make it the same size as the axle mount. And I'm going to position that to the left of the springs just by stacking it there. And I'll manually adjust its position, I think, by... No, that's fine, that's fine. I'm going to clone that. And position the clone to the right of the springs. Back and white so we can see them, and then stack it to the right. And adjust it back in again. Yep, those look absolutely super. So let's add some spring straps, just using basic cubes. So yeah, I'll add a cube here, and I'll resize it. It's just again adding a little bit of detail to the strap, and change its sizes to something reasonable. Yeah, it's probably about it, I think. No, we don't want it too deep either, do we? That's fine, and now let's move it onto the spring itself. I'll stack it to the right of the cylinder and then just nudge it over a little bit. It looks okay, so I'm going to just clone it and move it to the other side. Again, I'll stack it to the left of the other cylinder this time. And nudge him in a little bit. So that pretty much looks like a completed mount. I'm going to turn it into a single object by unioning the whole lot. And I might as well give it the correct name here, which should be wheel mount. I think I'll give it a more distinct colour, something like magenta perhaps. We actually need 4 of these wheel mounts, so I'm going to clone the existing one, diagonally clone over to the left hand side. That's fine, and I think I'll go and change its name to wheel mount 2. That's fine. I'll make another clone here, I think, and move him to the right this time. think I'll rotate it. Position it in front of one of the others. I'll nudge them away a little bit to allow a gap for printing. And I'll make another clone of him, and I think I'll just align this one in front of the first mount. I'll have to sort his name out as well. Should be the fourth one, shouldn't it? Yeah. I think I'll move them all to the center of the bed for printing. And save it. We're done. Perhaps we should go ahead and put those into the assembly. Open the assembly again and add a reference to the wheel mount file. I'm going to select one of the mounts at the back and I'll rotate it, and I will stack it above the rear beam. And now I'll move it roughly into position by aligning the lefts. Now I'll nudge it 6 millimeters to the right using the cursor key. I'll do the same again with this one, rotate it and stack it above. Oh, whoops, I've done that wrong. Stack it above and align right, not stack right. And now I'll nudge it back in again using the arrow keys. Again, about 6 millimeters. So I'm going to take one of the front ones, rotate, stack above the chassis side. At this time I'm going to just align it with the one that we have already positioned on the back. And I'll repeat that with the remaining one. Rotate, stack above, and then align it with the one at the back. That's fine, that's all the wheel mounts in position. Everything looks okay. I think I'm going to try and add the chassis side frames at the same time, but I think I've made a mistake on those, so I'm just going to open it again and have a look. Oh yeah, it wants me to save the assembly first, I'll do that. Yeah, I think I've got the sizes of these wrong, so I'll need to adjust some of them. Yeah, that's right, 45 is the correct one, but I think the one I've got at the back is actually smaller. Yep, that's 41, so I'm just going to make both of these the same size to 45. I'll just resize them. And I think somehow I've done the same with the side frames. I've got one bigger than the other, so I'm just going to resize those. That's fine. Now back to the assembly. A little while for the assembly to come up because it's got quite a bit of data in it now. But there it is. So now I'm going to reference those side frames. There we go. Just adding the file name. I'm going to position one of the on the frames. I don't even know what you call it. I'll just stack it above one of the mounts for the time being, and then move it along so that it's yeah, that's fine. It's got to connect those two mounts, and I'll do the same with the one at the back. Just stack it above and then move it into position. That's fine. I'd like to get these side frames into place as well, so I'm going to select one and I'm going to rotate it away from me and stack it above the side beam. I'll move it to the left of the beam. Oops. And it needs to be manually positioned a little bit. This is not being done by eye, I'm afraid. So that the diagonal parts are actually resting on the side beam. Just nudge that down by eye until it goes down and fits. There's still a gap there. I'll position the one at the back by just aligning it with the one at the front. Side frames are actually not making contact with the side beams like they should, so I'm just going to nudge the front one down. Now I think I'll select the two beams and just align the top of the back one with the top of the front one. So they should both be in the right position now. That looks fine. So that's it for this video and this part of the project. Next time we'll look at making the couplings. If you'd like to be notified when that's available, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. Thank you. Bye.